Hello, my friend, and welcome to English Pulse. Today, I want to talk about something very important for English learners. We will talk about how to talk to many people in English. Maybe you can speak a little English with one person, but when you meet many people, you feel nervous. You may not know what to say. You may worry about making mistakes. You may think that everyone is listening to you. But don't worry. You can learn how to talk to many people in English. You only need practice, patience, and confidence. Talking to one person can feel easy. You know who you are talking to. You can listen carefully, answer, and ask questions. But when there are many people, everything can feel different. One person may ask you a question. Another person may start talking. Someone else may laugh or make a joke. You may hear many voices at the same time. At first, this can feel difficult, but you can learn to stay calm. You do not need to understand every word. You only need to listen, understand the main idea, and say something simple. I remember a time when I was learning English. I was in a small group with several people. Everyone was talking in English. I wanted to join the conversation, but I was scared. I knew some English words, but I did not know how to use them quickly. I listened to everyone, but I said nothing. Then one person asked me a simple question. He asked, "What do you like to do?" I answered, "I like watching movies." It was a very simple answer, but it started a conversation. Someone asked me what kind of movies I liked. I answered again. Slowly, I became more comfortable. This taught me something important. You do not need difficult English to talk to many people. Simple English is enough. You can say, "I agree." You can say, "I think so." You can say, "Really?" You can say, "That sounds interesting." You can say, "What about you?" These small sentences are very useful. They help you join a conversation without thinking too much. When you are in a group, start by listening. Listening is very important. Do not feel that you must speak all the time. Listen to what people are saying. Try to understand the topic. Maybe they are talking about work. Maybe they are talking about food. Maybe they are talking about travel. When you understand the topic, it becomes easier to say something. You can add one small sentence. You do not need to give a long speech. For example, imagine that 3 people are talking about travel. One person says, "I visited London last year." Another person says, "I want to visit London someday." You can join by saying, "I want to visit London too." Then you can ask, "What did you like about London?" Now you are part of the conversation. It is that simple. You listened, understood the topic, and added a sentence. Another important skill is asking questions. Questions help conversations continue. When you do not know what to say, ask a simple question. You can ask, "Where are you from?" You can ask, "What do you do?" You can ask, "Do you like English?" You can ask, "What did you do today?" You can ask, "What kind of music do you like?" These questions are easy, but they can create long conversations. When someone answers your question, listen to the answer. Then ask another question about it. For example, you ask, "Where are you from?" The person says, "I am from Lahore." You can say, "Oh, nice. Have you lived there for a long time?" The person answers, and you continue. This is a simple way to keep talking. You should also remember that you do not have to talk to everyone at the same time. If there are 5 people in the group, you can speak to one person first. Then, you can look at another person and ask for their opinion. For example, you can say, "What do you think?" This brings another person into the conversation. You can slowly become comfortable with the whole group. Sometimes, you may make a mistake. That is okay. Maybe you use the wrong word. Maybe your grammar is not perfect. Maybe you pronounce something incorrectly. Do not stop talking because of one mistake. Keep going. The people around you may not even care about your mistake. They may understand what you mean. Your goal is communication, not perfection. I made many mistakes when I was learning English. Sometimes I said things in a strange way. Sometimes I forgot simple words, but every mistake taught me something. I learned to keep speaking. I learned that confidence grows when you practice. So if you want to talk to many people in English, do not wait until your English is perfect. Start now. Use the English you already know. Another helpful idea is to prepare some common sentences before you meet people. You can prepare sentences like, "Nice to meet you." "Where are you from?" "What do you do?" "How did you learn English?" "What do you like to do?" That sounds interesting. I agree with you. I have the same experience. What about you? These sentences can make you feel ready. You can also practice speaking with yourself. Imagine that you are in a group. Ask yourself questions and answer them. Pretend that another person is talking to you. Practice saying your answers out loud. This may feel funny at first, but it is very helpful. You are training your brain and mouth to respond in English. Remember, talking to many people is a skill. You do not become good at it in one day. Start with one person. Then practice with 2 people. Later, try 3 or 4 people. Slowly, your confidence will grow. You will begin to understand group conversations better. You will feel less nervous. You will start speaking without thinking too much. So today, remember one simple idea. You do not need perfect English to talk to many people. You need simple words, simple sentences, good listening, and the courage to speak. Start small. Listen carefully. Ask questions. Share your ideas, and do not be afraid of mistakes. Every conversation is practice. Every sentence makes you stronger. Keep speaking, and one day you will be able to talk to many people in English with confidence. Chapter 2: How to Start a Conversation with Confidence. We will talk about how to start a conversation with confidence. It can feel scary. You may see someone and want to talk, but you do not know what to say. You may think, "What if I make a mistake?" You may feel shy, but starting a conversation does not need to be difficult. You can start with very simple English. The first thing to remember is that you do not need a special sentence. You do not need a perfect opening. A simple hello is enough. You can say, "Hi, how are you?" You can say, "Nice to meet you." You can say, "How is your day?" These simple sentences are useful in kins. The important thing is to begin. I remember when I first tried to start conversations in English. I spent too much time thinking about the perfect sentence. I wanted my grammar to be perfect. I wanted every word to sound correct. Because of this, I often said nothing. Then I realized that a simple sentence was better than silence. When I started using simple English, conversations became easier. Imagine that you meet someone at a class. You can smile and say, "Hi, my name is Sam. What's your name?" The person gives you their name. You can say, "Nice to meet you." Then you can ask, "Are you in this class?" Now the conversation has started. You did not need difficult English, feeble sentences. Another good way to start a conversation is to talk about the situation around you. This is very easy because you do not need to think of a new topic. If you are waiting for a bus, you can say, "The bus is late today." If you are at a coffee shop, you can say, "This coffee is really good." If you are at an English class, you can say, "This lesson is interesting." These comments can help start a conversation naturally. You can also ask simple questions. Questions are very useful because they give the other person something to answer. You can ask, "Where are you from?" You can ask, "Do you live here?" You can ask, "What do you do?" You can ask, "Is this your first time here?" You can ask, "What do you think about this?" You do not need to ask difficult questions. Simple questions are often better. When the person answers, do not immediately look for a new topic. Listen to their answer. Their answer may give you another idea. For example, you ask, "Where are you from?" The person says, "I am from Islamabad." You can say, "Oh, nice. I have heard that Islamabad is beautiful." Then you can ask, "Do you like living there?" One question can lead to another question. Sometimes you can share something about yourself after asking a question. This makes the conversation feel more natural. If you ask, "What kind of music do you like?" and the person says, "I like pop music," you can say, "I like pop music too. I listen to it when I am driving." Then you can ask, "Who is your favorite singer?" 2. Now you are not only asking questions, you are sharing too. A good conversation has a balance. One person should not ask every question while the other person only answers. You should also share your own ideas. You can say what you like. You can talk about your work. You can talk about your family, hobbies, food, travel, movies, books, or daily life. Keep your sentences simple. You do not need to explain everything. For example, you can say, "I like cooking. I cook almost every day. My favorite food is rice and chicken." These are simple sentences, but they give the other person many chances to respond. They may say, "I like cooking too," or they may ask, "What do you usually cook?" A simple idea can create a longer conversation. Another important thing is your body language. When you talk to someone, look at them. Smile when it feels natural. Listen when they speak. You do not need to look perfect or act like a professional speaker. Just be friendly and relaxed. Good body language can make communication easier, even when your English is not perfect. If you feel nervous, take a slow breath before you speak. Do not rush. Say your first sentence slowly. You can say, "Hi, how are you?" Then listen. You do not have to prepare the whole conversation in your head. Just think about the next sentence. This can make speaking much easier. You should also learn some phrases. For moments when you do not understand, you can say, "Sorry, can you say that again?" You can say, "Could you speak more slowly?" You can say, "I didn't understand that." These sentences are not signs of weakness. They are useful communication tools. Even fluent speakers sometimes ask people to repeat things. If you forget a word, do not stop the conversation. Try to explain the word in another way. For example, if you forget the word umbrella, you can say, "the thing we use when it rains." The other person may understand and tell you the word. This is a great way to learn. The more conversations you start, the easier it becomes. At first, you may feel nervous. After 10 conversations, you may feel a little better. After 50 conversations, you may feel much more comfortable. Practice changes your confidence. You do not need to wait for confidence before speaking. Speaking creates confidence. So start today. Say hello to someone. Ask one simple question. Listen to the answer. Share one thing about yourself. That is enough. Do it again tomorrow. Every small conversation is a step forward. Do not worry about being perfect. Your goal is to connect with people and communicate your ideas. Remember, the best conversation starter is often the simplest one. Say hello. Smile. Ask a question. Listen. Respond. Then continue. You can do this. Your English does not have to be perfect. You only need the courage to say the first sentence. Once you say it, the conversation can begin. Chapter 3. How to keep a conversation going. Starting a conversation is good, but keeping a conversation going is even more important. Many English learners can say hello and ask one question, but then they do not know what to say next. They become quiet. They start thinking too much. They may think, "What should I say now?" Do not worry. There are simple ways to keep a conversation going. The first way is to listen carefully. When someone talks to you, listen for important words. Those words can give you your next question. For example, someone says, "I went to the market yesterday." You can ask, "What did you buy?" The person may say, "I bought some clothes." Then you can ask, "What kind of clothes did you buy?" The conversation continues because you are using their answers. This is much easier than trying to think of a completely new topic every few seconds. You do not need to control the whole conversation. Let the other person give you ideas. Listen and respond. This makes conversations feel natural. Another useful phrase is, "Tell me more." If someone says something interesting, you can say, "Really? Tell me more." This shows that you are interested. It also gives the other person a chance to continue talking. You can also say, "That's interesting. Why do you like it? How did that happen? What happened next?" These small phrases are very useful. For example, imagine your friend says, "I started learning to cook last month." You can say, "Really? That's interesting. What do you like to cook?" Your friend says, "I like making pasta." You can say, "Nice. Is it difficult?" Your friend answers, and you continue. You are not using difficult English. You are simply showing interest. Another good method is to use follow-up questions. A follow-up question is a question about something the person just said. If someone says, "I have two brothers," you can ask, "Are they older or younger?" If someone says, "I watched a movie last night," you can ask, "What movie did you watch?" If someone says, "I want to travel to Japan," you can ask, "Why do you want to visit Japan?" Follow-up questions make conversations longer and more interesting. They also help you avoid the feeling that you must find a completely new subject. You can stay with one topic for several minutes. You can also share your own experience. Suppose someone says, "I love football." You can say, "Me too. I usually watch football with my friends." Then you can ask, "Which team do you like?" Sharing something about yourself helps create a connection. The conversation becomes a two-way conversation. Sometimes you may not know much about the topic. That is okay. You can ask the person to explain. You can say, "I don't know much about that. Can you tell me more?" This is a great sentence. It shows that you are interested, and it gives you a chance to learn something new. You should also learn how to change topics. Sometimes a conversation reaches a natural ending. Maybe you have talked about work for a few minutes. You can move to another subject by saying, "By the way, what do you like to do in your free time?" Or you can say, "Speaking of travel, have you ever visited another country?" These phrases can help you move smoothly to a new topic. There are many easy topics you can use. You can talk about food, you can talk about hobbies. You can talk about movies, you can talk about music. You can talk about books. You can talk about sports. You can talk about travel. You can talk about work or school. You can talk about your weekend. These topics are simple and useful. I remember practicing conversations by making a list of topics. I wrote down 10 topics that I could talk about. Then I practiced 2 or 3 sentences about each topic. This made me feel more prepared. When I met someone, I did not have to panic, because I already had some ideas. You can do the same thing. Choose 5 topics today. Maybe your topics are food, movies, travel, hobbies, and daily life. Practice talking about each one for 1 minute. Then ask yourself questions about each topic. This is excellent speaking practice. Another important thing is not to worry about silence. Sometimes, a short silence is normal. You do not have to fill every second with words. Take a breath. Think. Then continue. If you are nervous about silence, you may speak too quickly. Speaking too quickly can make your English harder to understand. So slow down. You can also use simple phrases while you think. You can say, "Let me think." You can say, "That's a good question." You can say, I'm not sure." These phrases give you a little time. Takesem. They also sound natural. Remember that conversation is not a test. The other person is not waiting for you to make a perfect sentence. They are simply talking with you. Your goal is to understand and be understood. If you make a grammar mistake, continue. If you forget a word, explain it another way. If you do not understand, ask for help. The more you practice, the more natural conversations become. At first, you may think about every sentence. Later, you will start responding automatically. You will hear a question and answer without translating every word in your head. This happens through practice. So keep talking. Ask follow-up questions. Listen carefully. Share your own ideas. Change topics when needed. Use simple phrases when you need time. Do not fear small silences. Most importantly, enjoy the conversation. You are not trying to show people how much English you know. You are trying to communicate, connect, and learn. Every conversation is a lesson. Every person can teach you something. Every mistake can make you stronger. Keep practicing, and soon you will find that keeping a conversation going is not as difficult as you once thought. Chapter 4. What to say. When you don't know what to say. I want to talk about a problem that almost every English learner experiences. You are talking to someone in English, and suddenly your mind becomes empty. You do not know what to say. You know English words, but you cannot find the right words at that moment. You become nervous. You think the conversation is finished. But don't worry. This happens to everyone. There are simple ways to continue talking when you do not know what to say. First, take a breath. Do not panic. When you become nervous, your brain can make simple things feel difficult. You may know the answer, but fear can stop you from speaking. So, slow down. Take a small breath and give yourself time. You do not need to answer immediately. One useful sentence is, "Let me think." You can say, "That's a good question. Let me think." This gives you a few seconds. Another useful sentence is, "I'm not sure, but I think." Then you can give your idea. You do not need to have a perfect answer. Sometimes you may forget a word. This can be frustrating. You may think, "I know this word. Why can't I remember it?" Do not stop. Try to describe the word. For example, maybe you forget the word restaurant. You can say, "a place where people go to eat." Maybe you forget the word bicycle. You can say, "something with two wheels that you ride." This method helps you continue speaking. The other person may even help you. They may say the word you forgot. Then you can repeat it. You can say, "Yes, bicycle." Thank you. Now you have learned the word again. Another way to continue is to ask the other person a question. If you do not know what to say about yourself, turn the conversation back to them. You can say, "What about you?" This simple phrase is extremely useful. Someone asks, "Do you like movies?" You say, "Yes, I do. I like comedy movies. What about you?" Now the other person can continue. You can also use the person's previous answer. Listen carefully and find one small detail. Suppose someone says, "I went to the beach with my family last weekend." You may not know what to say, but you can ask, "Was it crowded?" Or, "Did you have a good time?" Or, "How far is the beach from your home?" These questions are easy. You can also talk about your daily life. When you do not know what to say, think about what happened today. You can say, "Today was very busy." Then explain why. "I went to work early. I had a lot of work. After work, I came home and had dinner." These simple sentences can create a conversation. You do not need exciting stories. Ordinary life is enough. You can talk about breakfast. You can talk about the weather. You can talk about your morning. You can talk about your plans. You can talk about something you watched. Simple topics are excellent for English practice. Another useful idea is to learn common conversation phrases. You can say, "Really? That's interesting. I understand. I agree. I don't think so. Maybe. What do you mean? Can you explain that? What happened? How about you?" These phrases help you respond when you need a moment to think. For example, someone says, "I want to start a new job." You can say, "Really? That's interesting." Then ask, "What kind of job?" They answer. You can say, "That sounds good." "Are you excited?" Now the conversation continues. You can also talk about things around you. Look around. Is there a book? Ask about it. Is there a cup of coffee? Talk about it. Are you in a park? Talk about the park. Are you waiting for a bus? Talk about the bus. Your environment can give you ideas. I remember using this method when I was learning. Sometimes I had no idea what to say, so I talked about what I could see. I said things like, "It's very busy today," or "The weather is nice." These were not amazing sentences, but they helped me practice speaking. The goal was not to have a perfect conversation. The goal was to keep using English. Another important thing is to accept that some conversations will end. You do not have to keep every conversation going forever. Sometimes people have nothing else to say. That is normal. You can simply say, "It was nice talking to you." You can say, "See you later." You can say, "Have a good day." Ending a conversation is also a communication skill. Do not think that every pause means you failed. Do not think that every forgotten word means your English is bad. Learning a language means having moments. When you do not know what to say, these moments are part of the journey. The best thing you can do is prepare. Practice common phrases. Practice describing words you forget. Practice asking questions. Practice talking about your daily life. Practice saying, "Let me think." Practice saying, "What about you?" When these phrases become familiar, you will feel more confident. Remember, you do not need to know everything. You only need enough English to continue. If you forget one word, use another word. If you forget an idea, ask a question. If you need time, take a breath. If you do not understand, ask the person to repeat. There is always a way to continue. So next time your mind becomes empty during an English conversation, do not give up. Smile. Take a breath. Say, "Let me think." Ask a question. Talk about something around you. Use simple English. Keep going. With practice, these difficult moments will happen less often. You will become faster, calmer, and more confident. And one day, you will be surprised when you realize that you can keep talking in English without being afraid. Chapter 5. How to talk to different people in English. We will talk about how to talk to different people in English. You may speak with a friend, a teacher, a coworker, a stranger, or a group of people. Each situation can feel a little different. But you can use simple English in all of these situations. You only need to understand the situation and choose the right words. Let's start with friends. Talking to friends is usually easier because you already know them. You can talk about your day, your hobbies, your plans, and your interests. You can say, "How was your day?" You can ask, "What did you do today?" You can talk about a movie you watched or food you ate. You can make mistakes because your goal is to communicate and enjoy the conversation. For example, imagine you meet your friend in the evening. You can say, "Hi, how was your day?" Your friend says, "It was good. I was very busy." You can ask, "What were you doing?" Your friend explains. Then you can share your day. "My day was busy too. I had a lot of work." This is a simple conversation, but it gives you useful speaking practice. Now let's talk about teachers. When you speak to a teacher, you may feel more nervous. You may think you need perfect English, but you do not. You can still use simple sentences. You can say, "Can you explain this?" You can ask, "What does this word mean?" You can say, "I don't understand this sentence." These sentences are useful for learning. Do not be afraid to ask your teacher questions. Questions are a sign that you want to learn. If your teacher corrects you, listen carefully. Do not feel embarrassed. The correction can help you improve. You can repeat the correct sentence and try to remember it. Now, think about talking to coworkers. Maybe you need English at work. You may need to talk about tasks, meetings, schedules, or simple daily activities. Start with clear sentences. You can say, "Can you help me with this?" You can say, "What time is the meeting?" You can say, "I finished the work." You can verwang, "I finished the work." You can say, "I will do it today." Simple English can be very useful at work. You should also learn how to talk to strangers. Sometimes you meet someone for the first time. Maybe you are at a store. Maybe you are traveling. Maybe you are at an event. You can start with polite language. Say, "Excuse me." Say, "Hello." Say, "Can you help me?" Say, "Could you tell me where this is?" These phrases are simple and useful. When talking to strangers, you can ask questions about the situation. If you are at an event, you can ask, "Have you been here before?" If you are waiting in line, you can say, "Is this the line for the tickets?" If you are traveling, you can ask, "Is this the right bus?" These questions can help you communicate naturally. You may also need to talk to people who speak English very quickly. This can be difficult. Do not feel bad if you cannot understand everything. Ask them to slow down. You can say, "Sorry, could you speak a little more slowly?" You can also say, "Could you repeat that, please?" Most people will understand. Another challenge is different accents. English is spoken by people from many countries. People may pronounce words differently. At first, this can be difficult. The best way to improve is to listen to different speakers. Listen to stories, videos, conversations, and podcasts. Slowly, your ears will become better at understanding different accents. You should also learn to adjust your English depending on the person. With a close friend, you can use casual language. With a teacher, older person, customer, or professional, you may want to use more polite language. For example, with a friend you might say, "Can you help me?" In a more formal situation, you can say, "Could you please help me?" Both are useful. But the situation is different. Talking to many different people is excellent practice. Because every person gives you a new experience. One person may use words you have never heard before. Another person may speak slowly. Someone else may speak quickly. You may need to ask questions. You may need to explain something. Every situation teaches you something. I remember that when I was learning English, I used to stay with people who spoke very slowly. This helped me feel comfortable. Later, I started talking to people who spoke faster. At first, I understood very little, but I kept listening. Slowly, my listening improved. Then I could understand more people. So do not always choose the easiest situation. It is good to start easy, but slowly challenge yourself. Talk to one person today. Tomorrow, talk to 2 people. Later, join a small group. Try different topics. Try different situations. Each experience will make you stronger. Most importantly, be friendly and patient. You are learning, and other people may also be learning. Do not worry about your accent. Do not worry about small mistakes. Speak clearly. Listen carefully. Ask questions when you need help. Talking to different people can also teach you confidence. You learn that you can survive a conversation even when you do not know every word. You learn that communication is more important than perfect grammar. You learn that mistakes are normal. So remember today's lesson. Talk to friends. Talk to teachers. Talk to coworkers. Talk to strangers when the situation is safe and appropriate. Talk to groups. Use simple English. Ask questions. Listen carefully. Be polite. And do not be afraid of mistakes. The more different people you talk to, the more comfortable English will become. Your vocabulary will grow. Your listening will improve. Your confidence will become stronger. Most importantly, English will start to feel like something you use in real life, not just something you study in a book. Keep practicing every day. Speak to one more person. Ask one more question. Say one more sentence. Every conversation is another step forward. You can learn to talk to many people in English. Start with simple words. Keep your heart calm and keep speaking. Chapter 6. How to stop feeling shy and speak more. We will talk about shyness. Maybe you know many English words, but you are afraid to use them. Maybe you understand English when you listen, but when someone asks you a question, you become quiet. You know what you want to say, but the words do not come out. You may feel nervous because you are afraid of making mistakes. But don't worry. Feeling shy is normal. You can become more confident. You can learn to speak more. You only need to take small steps every day. When I was learning English, I also felt shy. Flee. Sometimes I knew the answer, but I did not want to raise my hand. Sometimes someone asked me a question, and I knew what to say, but I was worried about my pronunciation. I thought people might laugh if I made a mistake. Because of this fear, I stayed quiet. I listened to other people, but I did not speak. One day, I realized something important. If I always stayed quiet, my English would not improve. I had to speak, even if I was nervous. So I started with very small steps. I talked to myself in English. So I looked around my room and described what I saw. I said, "This is a chair. This is a table. The window is open. My phone is on the table." These sentences were very simple, but they helped me get used to hearing my own English voice. I did not worry about grammar. I just spoke. Every day, I tried to say a little more. Talking to yourself is a great way to become less shy. You do not have to worry about another person listening to you. You can make mistakes. You can stop. You can start again. You can practice any sentence you want. For example, you can pretend that you are talking to a friend. Say, "Hi, how are you?" Then answer yourself, "I'm good. How about you?" You can make a small conversation with yourself. It may feel strange at first, but it is useful practice. Another good method is speaking in front of a mirror. Stand in front of a mirror and talk for 2 or 3 minutes. Look at yourself and speak slowly. You can talk about your day. You can say, "Today I woke up early. I had breakfast. Then I went to work. I was busy, but I finished my work." This practice helps you become comfortable with speaking. You begin to see that speaking English is not something to fear. You can also record your voice. Take your phone and record yourself speaking English. Talk for 1 minute. Then listen to the recording. At first, you may feel strange hearing your own voice. That is normal. But this practice can help you notice your pronunciation and speaking speed. And you can hear the words that you say well, and you can notice words that need more practice. Do not criticize yourself too much. Listen like a learner. You are learning, and that is what matters. Another important thing is to stop thinking about what other people think. This can be difficult, but it is very important. Many shy English learners think, "What will they think about my English?" They imagine that everyone is watching them, but most people are not thinking about your mistakes. They are thinking about the conversation. Some people may even respect you because you are trying to speak another language. Remember, speaking another language takes courage. You should also remember that mistakes are normal. Think about a child learning to speak. A child makes many mistakes. Child says a word. The child tries again. The child does not feel embarrassed. The child keeps talking. This is a good example for English learners. You do not need to speak perfectly. You need to keep practicing. I remember making many simple mistakes when I was learning. Sometimes I used the wrong tense. Sometimes I forgot a word. Sometimes I pronounced a word badly. But each mistake gave me another chance to learn. I started writing down my common mistakes. Then I practiced the correct sentences. Slowly, I made fewer mistakes. The important thing was that I did not stop speaking. Another way to become less shy is to start with people you trust. Talk to a close friend. Talk to someone who is also learning English. You can practice together. You can ask each other simple questions. You can talk about your hobbies, your family, your work, or your plans. When you practice with someone you trust, you may feel more relaxed. Later, you can use that confidence with other people. You can also join a small English-speaking group. A small group is often easier than a large group. You can listen to other people and then say a few sentences. You do not have to speak for a long time. Maybe you speak for 30 seconds. Then next time, speak for 1 minute. Slowly, you can speak for longer. Do not try to become confident in one day. Confidence grows slowly. Think of it like building a house. You start with one small piece, then another piece, then another. After many days, you have something strong. Your English confidence works the same way. One sentence today, one conversation tomorrow, one new experience the next day. These small steps become big progress. Another helpful habit is to prepare before speaking. If you know you will meet people, think about some simple topics before you go. You can prepare sentences about your work, your hobbies, your family, your city, or your weekend. For example, you can practice saying, "I work in a small office. I enjoy my job." Sometimes it is difficult, but I learn something new every day. When the topic comes up, you will feel more ready. You can also prepare some simple questions. Where are you from? What do you do? What do you like to do in your free time? Do you like traveling? What kind of movies do you like? These questions can help you start a conversation. When you have a few questions ready, you do not have to worry about finding something to say. Another important habit is speaking slowly. When people feel shy, they sometimes speak too quickly because they want to finish. But speaking quickly can make you more nervous. Slow down. Take a breath between sentences. Say one sentence at a time. Find the right word. This gives your brain time to find the right words. It also makes your English easier for other people to understand. You should also celebrate small successes. Maybe today you spoke English with one person for 5 minutes. That is a success. Maybe you asked a question in English. That is a success. Maybe you made a mistake but continued speaking. That is also a success. Do not wait until you become fluent to feel proud. Be proud of every small step. Sometimes you may have a bad day. You may forget many words. You may feel shy again. That does not mean you are going backward. Learning is not always a straight line. Some days are easy. Some days are difficult. Keep practicing. Tomorrow may feel better. Remember, confidence does not mean that you never feel nervous. Confidence means that you speak even when you feel nervous. You can feel shy and still say hello. Wait. You can feel nervous and still ask a question. You can make a mistake and still continue. That is real confidence. So start today. Talk to yourself for 2 minutes. Speak in front of a mirror. Record your voice. Talk to a friend. Ask one simple question. Say one sentence in English. Do not wait until you feel completely ready. Start while you are still nervous. Every time you speak, your fear becomes a little smaller. English is not something you should only study. English is something you should use. Your voice needs practice. Your mouth needs practice. Your brain needs practice. The more you speak, the more natural it becomes. One day, you will look back and remember how shy you once felt. You will smile because you will realize how much you have changed. So do not hide your English. Do not keep your words inside. Speak them. Share your ideas, ask questions, make mistakes, learn from them. Keep going. You have a voice, and your voice deserves to be heard. Start with one sentence today, then another sentence tomorrow. Slowly, you will speak more, feel less shy, and become more confident in English. Chapter 7. Practice every day and become a better English speaker. We will talk about daily practice and how it can help you become a better English speaker. Learning English is not something that happens in one day. You cannot study English for one morning and suddenly speak perfectly. It takes time. It takes practice. It takes patience. But the good news is that you do not need to practice for many hours every day. You can start with just a few minutes. The most important thing is to practice regularly. Even 5 or 10 minutes every day can help you become better if you continue doing it. I remember when I was learning English, I sometimes wanted to improve very quickly. I wanted to learn hundreds of words. I wanted to speak long sentences. I wanted to understand everything I heard. But I soon learned that trying to do everything at once made me tired. I needed a simple routine, so I started practicing a little every day. Some days I listened. Some days I read. Some days I spoke. Sometimes I did all three for a short time. Slowly, I became more comfortable with English. The first thing you can do every day is listen. Listening helps your brain become familiar with English. You hear how people pronounce words. You hear how they connect words. You hear common expressions. You also learn how sentences sound in real conversations. You can listen to simple English stories, short conversations, podcasts, or videos. Choose something that you can understand. You do not need to understand every word. When you listen, try something called repetition. Listen to one sentence and then repeat it. For example, you hear, "I went to the store this morning." Pause the audio and say, "I went to the store this morning." Then listen again. Repeat it again. This simple practice helps your mouth become comfortable with English sounds. It also helps you remember useful sentences. You can practice speaking every morning. When you wake up, say a few sentences about your day. You can say, "Good morning. I woke up early today. I am going to have breakfast. Then I will go to work. I hope I have a good day." These sentences are simple, but they are useful. You are training yourself to think and speak in English. You can also talk about what you are doing while you do it. If you are making tea, say, "I am making tea. The water is hot. I am putting the tea in the cup." If you are cleaning your room, say, "I am cleaning my room. I am putting these books on the table." This is a great way to practice, because you do not need to think about a topic. Your daily life gives you the words. Another useful habit is to learn a few new words each day. You do not need to learn 50 words. 5 words can be enough. But do not only memorize the meaning. Use the words in sentences. If you learn the word busy, make sentences like, "I am busy today. My friend is busy. The office is very busy." Using a word helps you remember it better. You should also review old words. Learning a word once is not enough. Tanklarsh. You need to see it and use it many times. Look at the words you learned yesterday. Try to remember their meanings. Then make new sentences. Review the words from last week, too. Repetition helps move words from short-term memory into stronger memory. Another important part of daily practice is reading. Read something simple every day. You can read a short story, a simple article, or a few pages of a book. Do not choose something that is too difficult. If every sentence has many words you do not understand, you may become frustrated. Choose material that is comfortable, but still gives you a little challenge. When you read some sentences out loud. This combines reading and speaking practice. For example, if you read, "The boy walked to the park," say it aloud. Listen to yourself. Try to speak clearly. Then read the next sentence. Reading aloud can help improve pronunciation and speaking confidence. Writing can also help your speaking. Write a few sentences about your day. You can write, "Today I woke up at 7. I had breakfast with my family. Then I went to work. In the evening, I watched a movie." You do not need to write a long story. A few sentences are enough. Writing helps you organize your thoughts in English. After writing, try to speak what you wrote. This is a very useful exercise. First, write 5 sentences. Then put the paper away and try to say the same ideas. Without reading, you may forget some words, but that is okay. Try again. This helps you move from writing English to speaking English. You should also practice asking and answering questions. Ask yourself simple questions such as, "What did I do today? What did I eat? What do I like? Where do I want to travel? What did I learn today?" Then answer out loud. This gives you regular speaking practice, even when nobody is available to practice with you. If you have a friend who wants to learn English, practice together. Choose a topic and talk for 5 minutes. Maybe talk about your favorite food. Maybe talk about your hometown. Maybe talk about your weekend. Take turns asking questions. Do not spend the whole time correcting each other's grammar. Focus on communication first. You can also practice with a group. At first, a group may feel difficult. Many people may speak at the same time. You may feel shy. But if you practice regularly, it becomes easier. Start by saying a few sentences. Then ask someone a question. Listen carefully. Slowly, you will become more comfortable speaking in groups. Another important habit is to record your progress. You can record yourself speaking for 1 minute today. Talk about your day. Then record yourself again next week. After a month, listen to your recordings. You may notice that your pronunciation is better. You may speak faster. You may use more words. You may feel more confident. Sometimes progress is difficult to see from one day to the next. But recordings can help you see the difference. Do not compare your English with another person's English. Maybe someone can speak faster than you. Maybe someone knows more words. That does not mean you are not improving. Your journey is your own. Compare yourself with the person you were yesterday. Ask yourself, can I say more than I could say last month? If the answer is yes, you are making progress. There will also be days when you do not feel like practicing. That is normal. Maybe you are tired. Maybe you are busy. Maybe you have other things to do. On those days, do something small. Listen to English for 5 minutes. Say 3 sentences. Review 5 words. A small practice session is better than doing nothing. Consistency is more important than perfection. You do not have to practice perfectly every day. You only need to keep coming back. If you miss one day, start again the next day. Do not say, "I missed yesterday, so I have failed." No, you simply continue. One missed day does not destroy your progress. You can make a simple English routine. In the morning, speak for 5 minutes. During the day, listen to English. In the evening, read for 10 minutes and write a few sentences. Before sleeping, review 5 new words. This routine does not need to take many hours. It only needs to become part of your daily life. You can also make a 21-day challenge. For 21 days, promise yourself that you will speak English every day. You can start with 5 minutes. On the first day, talk about yourself. On the second day, talk about your family. On the third day, talk about your food. On another day, talk about your work. Continue with different topics. At the end of 21 days, you may feel much more comfortable. Remember the most important rule. Use English. Do not only study English. Studying vocabulary is useful. Learning grammar is useful. Reading about English is useful. But speaking is also necessary. Your goal is to use the language in real life. So give yourself opportunities to speak. Talk to yourself. Talk to friends. Talk to classmates. Talk to coworkers. Talk to people in safe and appropriate situations. Join conversations. Ask questions. Tell stories. Explain your ideas. Every time you use English, you are practicing. Do not wait until your English is perfect. If you wait for perfection, you may wait for a very long time. Start with the English you have. Today. Maybe you can only say 5 sentences. That is okay. Tomorrow, say 6. Next week, maybe you can say 20. Slowly, your English will grow. Think about a small plant. A plant does not become a big tree in one day. You give it water. You give it sunlight. You take care of it. Day after day, it grows. Your English is the same. Every word is like a seed. Every sentence is like a small branch. Every conversation helps your language grow. There may be times when you feel that nothing is changing. You practice, but you still make mistakes. You listen, but you still do not understand everything. You speak, but you still feel nervous. Do not give up. Progress can be quiet. Your brain is learning even when you do not notice it. Keep going. One day, you may hear an English sentence and understand it immediately. You may answer someone without translating in your head. You may join a group conversation without feeling afraid. You may tell a story in English and realize that you are speaking naturally. So, suppose these moments will come from all the small practices you do today. So make English part of your everyday life. Listen when you are walking. Speak while you are getting ready. Read before bed. Write about your day. Review your words, ask questions, practice with friends, record your voice. Keep learning, keep repeating, keep speaking, and most importantly, enjoy the journey. English is not only a school subject. It is a way to communicate with people. It can help you make friends. It can help you understand new ideas. It can help you travel, study, work, and connect with people from different places. Every sentence you learn gives you another way to express yourself. If you feel shy today, speak one sentence. If you feel nervous tomorrow, speak 2 sentences. If you make a mistake, smile and try again. If you forget a word, explain it another way. If you do not understand someone, ask them to repeat. There is always another chance to continue. Now I want you to make a small promise to yourself. Promise that you will use English every day. You do not need to promise to study for 5 hours. Promise to speak for 5 minutes. Promise to learn a few words. Promise to listen to something in English. Promise to keep trying. Maybe today you can say, I am learning English, and I will not give up. Say it out loud. Say it again. I am learning English, and I will not give up. This simple sentence can remind you of your goal. Thank you for joining me on this English-speaking journey. I hope these chapters have helped you understand that speaking English is possible. You do not need perfect grammar. You do not need a huge vocabulary. You do not need to be fearless. You only need to practice one small step at a time. So keep listening. Keep reading. Keep writing. Keep speaking. Keep making mistakes. Keep learning. And most importantly, keep using English every day. Your confidence will grow. Your vocabulary will grow. Your speaking will improve. One day, you will look back and be proud of how far you have come. If you enjoyed this lesson, please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more simple English lessons, stories, and speaking. And tell me in the comments, how many minutes do you practice English every day? Your answer may inspire another English learner. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and never be afraid to use your English. Your journey starts with one sentence, and that sentence can lead to thousands more.